Okay. The reason behind that I am here is probably that I have made a dissertation about how adult poor pitch singers, or non-singers as I put it here, do learn to sing. This is a workshop and we are going to do practical things too, but I go very shortly through few slides before that you get some kind of ideas that what are our exercises, what is my singing approach based on. So, I have this here. So here is something about my background. I have worked, for instance, at Helsinki University in educational psychology department as a university lecturer, and at the moment, however, I work as an occupational health psychologist in a healthcare company. But I have keen contacts to singing. I lead a singing school at Helsinki, Key to Song. I have marvelous teachers there, and we are specialized to everybody's singing, but especially for people who feel themselves that they are non-singers. And I have been also involved in a few researches which are about people with memory diseases, how they benefit from music and singing. But now I go forward, and a few words about that I don't know if you agree, do we sing today enough or not? I think that we don't. And we have heard several issues already. Why is that? And you know, there is our workplaces, but it's so much different. It's so much different what it used to be when the singing was a part of the rural culture, for instance. But then the other part of my slide is that the singing test system. I would argue that singing test, musicality test system has a lot to do that so many people don't sing. At least in Finland it is the case, where we use musicality tests, so-called musicality tests, which include singing a lot. We use them a lot. So at least in Finland, singing test system was widely and is applied at primary schools, and the tradition it continues at least in Finland. Musicality was or is linked to an ability to sing. If you failed, and it's silly, if you failed in a singing test, you were not encouraged to play the piano, because it was assumed that if you pass the singing test, it shows your musicality, which shows that you are able to learn to play piano. I think that this is paradoxically not true at all. So, a singing ability is often seen as an innate, permanent skill, which some people have or do not have. I'm pretty sure that many of you I think that our audience today, in these days, are musicians, singers, conductors who live in music. But I'm pretty sure you know people who think that, oh, I'm not a singer at all, you know, I know that I cannot sing. Do you know these people? Yeah, so do I. And there also seems to be a lack of knowledge among music and singing teachers on how to proceed with children or adults who have problems to sing in tune. Tuition is not automatically offered to those either. And it means that I am an educated singing teacher from Sibelius Academy. And in our pedagogical studies, we had only trainee pupils who were excellent singers, because there was a singing test and they already knew how to sing rather well. So during the studies, I or my student colleagues never met any people who really had problems to sing. And by that I mean that to sing in tune. And so that at schools, how music and singing activities are part of regular curriculum of every child, but no tuition. Why is singing so important? I go them very, very quickly through. A modern research and profound experience shows that singing has vast psychological, physiological, psychological and social benefits. Development of vocal performance, body posture, breathing, self-expression and performance skills, just as an examples. May release neurochemical transmitters and hormonal changes in the brain and body which make one feel good. Therapeutic aspects and spirituality, alleviation of stress and depression. Strengthening of social bonding, assisting people suffering from neurological conditions such as different memory disorders, Parkinson's disease and aphasia. Supporting language learning, concentration and cooperation skills among children, especially beneficial for children with attention deficit problems. A possibility to experience enjoyment, well-being, mindfulness. And this is my personal note, we may cause less climate and other environmental problems when feeling happy with our own mind, body. I think that this is a rather big issue. There is so much depression in our population, Western populations nowadays. And is it that we don't know anymore who we are in our bodies, in our voices? Anyway, I was a few weeks, 2 weeks ago, I was in Hamburg speaking in a conference that was about memory diseases and music's impact. And Professor Teo Hartog, for instance, from Fehta University, he has made marvelous work with these issues. And you know, in practical level, and then he is collecting, one of those people, he is collecting all the information, research-based knowledge about how memory diseased people really benefit from using music and singing. And I want to shortly tell one example for Parkinson's disease. At my singing school, we have got now for 2 years two Parkinson's people working in singing group. And I met then privately one man. He is 70 years old, and his speech was very, very difficult to understand. It was like that. I don't know what to do. It was very hard because it was too quick and the articulation was already off. And then we started to sing and we started to do nice things with our hands and our expressions and start to whatever well-known Finnish tunes. After 15 minutes of that, his wife was in the lesson. And for 15 minutes of that, he started to talk with me, the man. We had a real conversation about his young years at school. I have no problem to follow his speech, and we really we conversated. So, and his wife, oh, I haven't heard my husband talk like that for 10 years. And you know, the problem is, there are two big problems. The one problem is that there are so many people who believe that they cannot sing. Singing is not to me. And the other problem is the medical world problem, that this singing does not belong to medical world. There are so few doctors who would say that, hey, you've got now a diagnosis of Parkinson's disease. I would recommend you go to have dancing lessons, you go to have singing lessons now, or you take a choir. It's very seldom, almost never. I hope you have different experiences. Tell me if you have. I'm very happy to hear about that. Okay, this is just an example. When I talk to nurses, I have talked very much to nurses in several parts in Finland, to volunteers, people who work with elderly people. So I use, for instance, these pictures to show what is happening in our brain, you know, just on some level. What is happening on our brains if we are just listening to music or if we are active musicking ourselves. But now we go forward. Okay, this is shortly about my dissertation which is the study behind now the Key to Song method, which we call it now Key to Song method. And the title of my dissertation was Helping Adult Poor Pitch Singers to Sing in Tune. And I brought singing up holistically from the 4 standpoints. Cognitive processes, what does it mean in our cognition that we sing? And physiological processes. What is singing here in our body, in our larynx, in our breathing? Subjective experience, what kind of experiences people have, my study group now. What kind of cognitive processes is involved in singing, and how singing skills are understood in the culture. And so in my research group there were 10 adult people, and I want to clearly bring up that the amount of lessons they got was group lessons, 37 hours group lessons, and only average 7.5 hours individual lessons. And with this time schedule, what happened? First, I divided the problems of the participants, to perceptual blocks, production blocks, and emotional belief system blocks. And by perceptual blocks, I mean that they had real difficulties to perceive themselves what they were singing. For instance, if I ask that please sing me something, and he sings like twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are, up above so sky so bright, and then I ask after that, how did it go? And he or she tells me that I have no idea. But it's very important to note that when I sing wrong notes, or I play wrong notes, which I do often, everyone immediately notices that. So the problem is only in feedback mechanism, I assume. When they are themselves singing, the feedback mechanism doesn't work somehow, probably. They haven't learned that. Production blocks, very often the vocal reach, they had only, let's say, 5 notes, and very often on the speech level. And then when you should go a little bit higher, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, no voice at all. There was no sounds. And that was very often that if the melody goes there, you haven't those notes, you just go downstairs, because there you have something to produce. And that's a problem of something in your functioning, in your vocal cords, in your larynx functioning, breathing, things like this. And emotional belief system blocks, the worst ones, because this is a real block that you hinder yourself to even think about singing, because you might have very humiliating experiences from the ground school, for instance, where the whole class started to laugh when it was my turn to sing. And you know, it's very effective. After that, most probably you just shut down your singing. Results briefly. All the participants made remarkable progress. So singing is a skill that can be helped in adult years from any initial level. Instead of poor pitch singing, the concept developing singers is suggested, and Graham Welsh is one of the greatest names on this area in the world. He's still very, very effective in his studies. Sensory and motor domains continuously interact in brain. So, when you start singing, you can develop your musical ear, your perceiving. So they are mixed, and if you start singing, you start to listen better yourself, you start to make better nuances, and vice versa. when you listen better, hear better, your motor processes become better. So they are always mixed, always connected. So a singing skill is not something that one either have or doesn't have, but instead is deeply connected to tradition and concepts of singing which prevail in a given cultural context. So I think that this is mostly a cultural problem, that we say that here are the people who cannot sing and here are those who can. I'm sure that you don't do it, but it's a lay. And it's very too often also a kind of professional opinion too. Not that black and white, but too much. Okay, today at the Key to Song School we have weekly about 140 students, individuals, group and choirs. Occasionally we train professionals in the healthcare sector as well as school and kindergarten teachers. Okay, and there is the Parkinson group, and then we start next autumn also these breathing problems, severe breathing problems patients, these chronic obstructive pulmonary disease patients. And this, I have to say that there is the health professor, Stephen Clift in the Canterbury Christ University in England, and he is very keen making research and practitioner group with this, and I'm with in his group to learn more about how singing could help people with COPD problems. So, our method Key to Song is continuously developed by our teachers, feedback from our clients, and we try to follow international singing research as well as we can. So, now I will present some 4 core elements of the Key to Song method. Feedback. Building confidence. If a group or if somebody sings and says to me, oh, he says, let's say that it's Adam or it was Mary. Mary says to me, oh, that was horrible, I sang so badly. Then if I give her a feedback that, no, it was okay, that was nice, it doesn't help. Oppositely, I would ask her that, hey, tell me, to my ear, that was not bad at all, if I agree, if I think so. But then, hey, please tell me, what was so bad in that? And then we start to discuss, because, you know, when you are a non-singer, with no experience, the people with this background, they don't know at all what is wrong in the singing. It might be that, you know, you were just too anxious. Then we try to relieve your body, or that was too high note. She has no reach until that. That's okay, yes, that was perfect, all right, until that note. Very good that you noticed that, but you know, we will work with that. Don't worry, it will come. So we need this kind of supportive and precise feedback. And then there is another, Graham Welsh speaks about precise feedback and I adopted it from him, and by that we mean that, you know, if somebody, we try, would you please say me a long please, could you? Thank you. And then I tried to take the same note. Please again. Was it the same? No, it wasn't. Okay, I didn't notice it myself, but okay, so it wasn't. Then we might try this, that you might now, if I would be your student, you might help me to, like this, that I start now and you start from higher or lower, what you will, and then you ask me that my task is to say that when I try to hear that you are the correct, and I'm the student who starts now. That might be now, and you know, if this kind of tasks. Then you could use your hand and show me that, hey, please, once again, and now you are the teacher, and I try to follow, and please give me a sign with your hand that should I go upper or lower. You are an example now. I found it. Thank you. Normally it doesn't go this easy, but with time it works. The visual cues are very important. And we haven't yet found a person who couldn't with time do this. Someone does this immediately. For someone it takes several weeks. For someone this doesn't work at all at once, but then later on. So it depends on so many things. All right. Then enabling atmosphere, safe and relaxed. So here is that one. A teacher must honestly believe that students can learn to sing regardless of their initial skill level. If I say that, okay, that was nice, and I don't believe it myself, she or he recognizes it under consciousness perhaps, but we cannot lie. So we have to help students to be patient. To learn to sing is a process. We have to all the time remind ourselves and the student, hey, this is a process. The flaws, the mistakes are important part of the process. Sometimes it works well and next week nothing works. So it is, that's life. Then group teaching togetherness. It has great benefits because then you have fellows that have same kind of very often quite bad experience, and then you learn that I'm not the only one in the universe who has this kind of problems, and it always helps a lot. They become singing friends. But now we go to versatile training, and by that I would like to show you something of our approaches, what kind of exercises we do. Please stand up. Very often we start with a movement like this. I go here for a while so you can easily see me. Oof. Let's have a little machine now. And please take some space. So there, yeah. No close contact to the chair or something like that, yeah. Now we got a nice machine. What makes us like this? Good. Let your shoulders relax. The head gets so heavy with so many important thoughts, heavy thoughts. It gets heavy. And then we start with this kind of slight voice. And you can breathe whenever you want. Just let it come. Enjoy your relaxed movement. And shoulders, they relax. Wonderful. I must remember to say that all our exercises have physiological grounds. They are not just invented that, hey, this is fun. It might be fun, but they have real physiological grounds. But we have no time for them now. Anyway, the next would be something like that. And now we try to do our very relaxed, hey, your tongue, let it come like this. That if you start to talk, it is like this, please. So we do a little bit here low, and then, please. Let loose tongue. Good. Next time we go a little bit higher. So take your easy, a little bit higher voice. And the same movement. And then your still higher tones, please. Great. And now we do a little performance, and that you changed your voice whatever you want, but the movement is the most important. So you go. So please come with me.
Thank you. This way, you know, when we do it together, people who has never or very seldom produced a tone like quite, you know, by chance, it just comes. And you know, if you can produce it like this, kind of physiological voice, so there is the singing voice. It's, I tried to say that, hey, it's the same mechanism. We just, no, when we start, we can produce it anyway, which is healthy and which doesn't hurt. And with these, we know we relax so much here that we cannot be very tensed at the same time when we don't produce. It hurts. But with this, we cannot be hurted in our larynx, for instance. Okay, then we could make some, I have here a few, yes, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. I would, if you were now a beginners group, and we also know this song very well in Finland, in Finnish words, so we would sing that, and I would ask that, hey, now I want you to make this Twinkle, Twinkle with this movement we just did, and with your own Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, like this. But we skip it now because there is time running. But now we could do something like that, let's make our shoulders. And now we take Twinkle, Twinkle with the real melody if you like. But if you like to speak it, I always say this, it's perfectly all right. You can also speak, it doesn't matter. You can't make a choice. You speak or sing, and if you sing, you can sing from any beginning tone. If I start Twinkle, Twinkle, you can start whatever you want. This is very important to say to the beginners because very often they don't catch the same starting note. And I have to in every way express that it's perfectly okay if you don't catch the same beginning note because it's the part of the process. Okay, so we go here, Twinkle, Twinkle, and you can follow my melody line or yours anyway, but the movement is important. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the make a change in the round. Another direction, good. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Next we could make such a thing, and now we go again. Twinkle, twinkle. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up, make a direction change. Like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Thank you for this beautiful singing. Hey, once again, but we can change. Let's take Bruder, Bruder in German now, because I didn't know it in Hungary or in English. Okay, we take it now in German. And you can, if you don't know, I think that these kind of exercises are very good. Even and precisely if a person does not know the language, then she or he just makes a no idea how it goes, but it doesn't matter because it's kind of playful thing all the time we aim. Okay, now we could do, this is complicated, I warn you. we are going to sing Bruder Jakob. At the same time, we try to clean our gums here with our thumb, and you say so clearly as possible. And in the middle, I will give you still another task. Okay, first 2 verses with the tongue. Wonderful, and then please stop. And now we continue with something like this. Yeah, from the beginning, hörst du nicht. Ding dong dong, ding dong dong. Thank you. Thank you so much. And you know, with a real beginner group, I would never put these all together now. But little by little, and there are several aims. One is that, you know, if you are very anxious, as our clients are, about singing, your whole body is very tight, and you are anxious that, do I right, am I wrong, if I made a mistake, and if other people notices it, and I lose my face. When we do, everyone can do somehow these kind of movements. And for instance, this movement is very healthy to our breathing because it helps loosen here perhaps tightened muscles and helps our abdomen here in the inside to just make its movements, its normal movements. And in the beginning, we talk very, very little about breathing because it's too much. If a person has cognitive problems listening to himself in feedback mechanism, he has no concentration possibilities to breathing at the same time. And then we just do, everything is free. It's free how you do it. Important is that we do it. And with these kinds of, tongue is a very important. Actually, please sit down. Sorry. We still do one thing, but please sit down for a while. The tongue is very important because it's connected to our larynx, and if the tongue root loosens, it loosens and helps the whole larynx movements and releases the muscle. Tightened muscles, what are very often here. So all kind of tongue things are very beneficial, and we all the time use at the same time singing or things like that. One thing I would like to show you is with the row a boat. It's always a big deal that how can I reach the upper tones. And one trick what we do is, for instance, that, let's say, my barn is over the ocean, my barn is over the sea. Please, we go for a while. Please stand up again, and gently, that don't push your head on the chair or something. Very, just as we made a slight bow like this. Let's go, my body is, so we are a little bit higher. And we just, quite mechanical way, we just make a little nice bow with a loose and relaxed neck. My body is over the ocean. My body is over the sea. My body is over the oceans. Oh, bring back my body. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Because if you loosen this way your neck, it's actually impossible to make muscle tightenings, muscle contracting here badly. Then we take row a boat. We took it like this. let's have a nice, we are throwing a ball, for instance, and we could do it like this. Yes. Row, row, row a boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Okay, I tried in the place, merrily, merrily. I would like to have my hand here, but I didn't manage it. So backwards, that would be better. Do it that way if you can. I made, perhaps, I cannot manage it perhaps, but you do. Take another hand, the left hand if it was right. So, and perhaps both hands. And then we just go. The movement is again very important. We throw the ball or we throw the sounds. Okay. Row, row, row the boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Yes, excellent. And to our experience, there is a huge difference if we try with these non-singers, very beginners, to say, okay, now we sing this, row, row, row a boat gently down the stream, merrily, merrily, it won't work. Perhaps there is no sounds, because they start to be under pressure. But now we concentrate in every other aspects, but not on the right singing, on the correct singing. And somehow, with time, the correct singing just comes. Please sit down. Okay, this is one concept I want to show you. One of the theoretical concept which is very, very important, and it comes from the Russian psychologist Vygotsky. And the zone of proximal development might be a very, very well-known concept to you, and I like to explain it like that here is my safety circle. Here I'm safely, I know what I do. And it might be for a beginning singer that at home, when she or he is certainly alone and she knows that nobody hears her, she might happily sing at home that twinkle, twinkle, da, 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 when she is making dishes or something, no problem. Then the same song, and she comes to the group, or she would be in the birthday party for her child, and they, hey, could you start this singing, this song? She said she's out from her safety circle. No, I can't, I cannot sing. At home it was okay, here because there are so many demands. And as professional singing teachers, we know that there are so many aspects in her or his singing that we can help. Perhaps it's that, okay, yes, I understand very well that it's a big thing to you to start with in your child's birthday party the same song that you have no problem at home. So let's have a look, and here comes the teacher, the zone of proximal development, where help is needed, safe, good help, where we try in our best ways to help that, okay, let's try, these movements again, let's try your tongue, that could we do it with our tongue? Then we start to do different things, approaching from different aspects to the problem and finding out what helps most. So this is very solution focused. We try several things and okay, this helps to you. This doesn't help you to you, but this helps to you. So we continue with this and that. So we have a kind of package of several, not tricks, but kind of tricks, but they are very well-based tricks. Okay. Sense of safety. So always when a person is acting in the zone of proximal development, she is very vulnerable. I am very vulnerable if I get off from my safety. We all are. So we have to, as a teachers, we have to sense it, notice it, remember it. Okay. There is one thing, there are a few things left I want to say. So singing is so important, and the more aspects what I want to bring still once up is that if we can help any people to sing, it most probably brings happiness in his or her life. If we can help professionals like physiotherapists, nurses, psychologists, neuropsychologists to sing, to use singing in their professional lives, we might have huge impact to rehabilitation to many patients groups. Parkinson, stroke patients, memory disease patients, pain patients, depressive people, lung diseases, Alzheimer people. So this is not something that, hey, singing is just nice. Of course, it's nice, it's marvelous. But it has so many well-being and health aspects that we really have lots to do. There in the Professor Hartog's seminar and in Hamburg, they used the concept geropedagogic, how to help all elder people who has never had possibility to sing or, let's say, to play piano. There should be so marvelous education possibilities that bring so much joy in their lives, and also I must say to the teacher's life, because it's so it gives so much to the teacher too. All right. This kind of exercises, what we just did, to our experience, help to connect breathing and voice production in a natural, relaxed way, increase voice range and flexibility on voice production. They are energizing, creative, and very often funny. Students learn to use their voices in different expressive ways. They familiarize a student with her or his own voice without any precise criteria of right or wrong. She or he gets positive experiences with singing, which probably leads to positive self-imaging. I am a singing person, which may bring a whole positive impact on his self-image. Okay, this is my second last slide, and in the very end, I want to bring up another issue, but which belongs to us anyway. Do we notice it or not? Or do we want it or not? And you know, I think that as educators, we should be aware what's happening in the societies and in environment of the world, of the globe, which are very much connected. How our societies function are very much connected to that, in what condition is our environment. There is a solid scientific proof that climate change is real and that is endangering nature, economy, and culture globally. I have been with grounding the Storm Warning Association in Finland. We also have an association in Sweden now, and we work for energy-saving, cleaner, and safer technology. This is a problem that is solvable. It is possible to solve. There's all the technology. We only need political decisions. And we have got musicians, as we are, as excellent messengers. For instance, a Finnish a cappella singing group, Rajaton, with marvelous Kuusisto violin brothers, just made a fantastic concert to 2 degrees. And there are in the United States and in the world, there are very good other examples. So at this age, what I am thinking, my children, my grandchildren, I think that I have to take this real, and I want to work for this. Please come with anything. Very little is enough. Thank you.